Here we go again. Have you ever noticed that's what comes out of your mouth every time life decides to punch you in the mouth? If you've ever said those four words about your money, then today's video is for you. I can't be the only person who's experienced this. You finally decide you're going to get your finances together. You make a plan, you start investing, and for a while, it actually feels like things are changing. Then, here we go again. The transmission goes out. You need new tires. Your hours get cut. Life finds a way to throw one more thing at you, and then that feeling in your stomach comes right back. Your plan starts falling apart. And before you know it, you're right back where you started, full of stress and anxiety. And as my mama used to say, if it ain't one thing, it's another. Here's the crazy part. No matter what it feels like in the moment, I can tell you from personal experience that none of this is automatically a sign of you or your financial plan failing. I know it's easy to come to that conclusion. I've done that before. Here's the reality. That breakdown may be showing you that your plan is doing exactly what it's designed to do. Just hear me out on this one. The problem is until life tests out your plan, it's just a plan. What? Actually, yeah. On paper, almost every plan looks good, looks possible, and feels destined for success. The numbers work, the timeline makes sense, and everything appears to be under control. But as Mike Tyson used to say so eloquently, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And then it changes. Here we go again. It's the first thing that comes out. Financial plans are no different. If you're old enough to remember Mike Tyson's Punch Out, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You would work your way through Glass Joe and all those other characters, and you're feeling pretty darn good about yourself. Then Tyson shows up, hits you one time, and suddenly you realize your strategy and skills weren't nearly as good as you thought they were. Money works the same way. Your plan doesn't get tested when everything is going right. It gets tested when life throws its first punch at it, when that unexpected expense shows up, the emergency arrives, or the conditions just simply change. And today I want to show you something I wish someone would have taught me years ago. There are three kinds of plans, three reasons they fail, and one thing you can do that will dramatically increase the odds so that your plan actually survives real life. Now that we're clear where we're going with this video, let me welcome you to Stackers University and let you know that I'm Dr. Stacker. And from this point forward, I'm your new financial behavioral coach. And on this channel, we're going to help you stop just knowing what to do with your money and start doing it consistently so you can become a true wealth builder. Because good financial information can tell you what to do. Great financial teaching helps you become the person who can keep doing it consistently when life stops cooperating. Now, let's start with the three kinds of financial plans. There's a good plan, a bad plan, and no plan. A good plan is grounded in reality. It's based on actual income and expenses and responsibilities and actual goals. It has some room for your life to just happen as life does, and it can adjust when the conditions change. A bad plan is built on weak assumptions, false assumptions, bad math, and a fantasy version of you who never gets tired, never makes mistakes, never overspends, and apparently never needs brakes, tires, dental work, or any other thing that comes up as life just be life. Then there's no plan. Now, people who will say, Doc, I don't have a financial plan. Okay, but that still produces a financial direction and a result. So it may not be a great plan, but it's a different kind of plan, I guess. I like to call it the drift plan. You just kind of drift wherever life takes you. And as I love to say, a dream without a plan is just an hallucination. Now that we've covered the three plans, let's talk about the three ways they fail, because some of y'all are already out there patting yourselves on the shoulder saying, at least I got a plan. I can see you out there, Frankie and Cody and Chris. Don't y'all be out there getting all excited. You're not out of the woods yet. The first reason they fail is rather simple. The plan was never good to begin with. The assumptions were wrong. The timeline was unrealistic. The plan required more money or didn't have enough margin for emergencies or just a real life situation. It's one of those plans where everything had to go perfectly in order for it to work. Now, please hear me on this. It's not a reflection on you or your ability to build wealth. Now, it might mean you didn't develop a good plan, but that's a very different issue. So when life throws punches at you and starts to hit you and hits you in your mouth and your eyes start to water up and you get ready to say, here we go again, I want you to stop. And instead, I want you to learn something. Now, let's talk about the second reason plans fail. And that is because they were never really implemented. Plans may be very reasonable. It may sound good, but you just didn't execute it. You intended to transfer the money. You intended to check your bank account, to cut the spending, or automate the investing, but intention never became real action. Again, this is not a reflection on you or your ability to build wealth because we don't really shame ourselves around here. But we also need to do something and not lie to ourselves. The point isn't to immediately decide who deserves blame. The point is to get to good information, learn from it, and actually get better. And if you're not sure exactly where your financial process keeps breaking down, take the "Where Are You Stuck" assessment. It'll help you identify the part of your financial plan and financial life that needs your attention right now. So you can stop guessing, stop fighting the wrong problem, and make your next move with more clarity. Because a punch in the face from life isn't always proof that the fight's over. Sometimes it's just proof that your current strategy has to adjust. The third reason plans fail is the one we're going to unpack before I give you that one solution. And that's this: the plan stopped evolving. Life changed, but your plans stayed frozen like they were like in time, like Han Solo. Your income changed, or your expenses, or you added to the family, or just life be lifing. But the plan stayed exactly where you left it. And this is where even a phenomenal plan can quietly turn into directions to nowhere. This is the biggest mistake people make. Your financial plan is never actually finished. It has to keep changing with you. Let me say that clearly. The real discipline isn't in making a financial plan, it's in maintaining one. And I'll even take it one step further. The quality of your financial plan matters, but the continual development of your planning process matters even more. Because here's kind of the crazy part: even a bad plan can become a good plan if you keep working on it and improving it. Now, here's the part that's going to make you really mad at me. Your plan sort of matters, but it's really about you as the planner and whether or not you continue to grow. And I like to call it, are you a good planner? Good planners improve every plan. It doesn't matter if it's a good or a bad plan. That's the key distinction. Think about how we used to get directions before we had GPS. Some of y'all remember printed directions or from MapQuest, or maybe even those old big old Thomas Guide books or whatever it is. Those directions may have been accurate when you printed them, but the moment you missed a turn, the moment you ran into a detour or a road was closed, you were stuck. And oh Lord, you was in real trouble because there was no way of easily finding your way back. That's how a lot of people treat their financial plans. Now, here's your solution. Your plan needs GPS. GPS? Yes, GPS. Your plan needs to be able to work with you. The difference between MapQuest and a GPS is the GPS knows exactly where you are and stays connected to you. If you miss a turn, it doesn't say, you clearly don't want this bad enough. You're not really serious about wealth building. Nah, it just simply says recalculating. Same destination, we're just going to take you on a different route. It adjusts. So when something changes, it just changes with you to make sure you get to your ultimate destination. When life changes, your financial plan should do the exact same thing. That's why this visual, location before directions, matter, because your current location demands different directions. And sometimes your destination changes because you've reached your first of many stops towards building wealth. The plan has to change for the next new destination. The plan has to grow as you, the planner, grows, and you have control over that. That is why you have to treat your plan like a living document. Your job isn't to worship the original draft and put it up on the shelf. No, it's to continue to interact with it, shaping it, molding it. It's like a relationship with your boo, you know? If you want things to continue to work well, you better spend some time with him or her and strengthen that relationship. You check in, you communicate, you tell the truth, you repair mistakes, you make adjustments, you grow together. Your money plan needs that same kind of attention.
Most people don't have a money problem. They have a financial behavior problem. Smart people struggle financially too. You work hard, you make money, but somehow nothing changes. Plant something different and you'll grow something different. Behavior creates wealth. Systems create freedom. Become the CIO of your life. Stop chasing money and start growing wealth with Stackers University. Building wealth, transforming lives.
I know I told you that I was only going to give you one solution, but I couldn't resist. Solution one is the biggest, but there's another one that's right there. You must schedule a monthly money date. And that's not when you pay your bills. Now, I'm talking about a dedicated time to review the big picture and answer at least 5 questions. Where am I now? What has changed? What worked? What needs improvement? What's one adjustment that you need to make? And I don't mean 17, I just mean one. And make sure you write it down. Your monthly money date is how the plan stays alive. It reconnects your intentions to your reality. That's how even a bad plan could even get better. That's how you perfect being a good planner. And that's the real goal. You're building a planning process that keeps improving as your life, money, responsibilities, and capabilities change. So the next time life punches you in your mouth and you feel like saying, here we go again, that's just what life does. But what you do in response is what you get to control. You're getting new information. Update your location, recalculate, and continue on the journey because any plan can fail when it's unmanaged, and every plan can improve in the hands of a good planner. Let me know in the comments which of the 3 failure reasons has hurt your financial progress the most. Was the plan bad? Did you struggle to execute it? Or did the plan stop evolving when your life changed? Or you can put an A plus in the comments if you're ready to level up your financial plan. A better financial plan is only part of the equation. The next question is, why does building wealth feel so much harder than it seems that it should? If you've ever wondered about that, I want you to click on this video, 3 reasons wealth building feels so hard. In that video, I'll walk you through the 3 biggest reasons so many hardworking people stay stuck. Always stack smarter and always build what matters.